best friend Cleo and I decided to leave at last call so we could grab a cab because it was pissing rain. She was wearing heels, which is not a good idea because she had terrible balance. So she was probably the only person I knew who could actually fall sitting down. And we got outside and there was a cab and she runs to get it. And as she's running, she's falling and she lands against the cab with both palms, her cheek, and her boobs. And she's like, I got it. And there's this perfect imprint there. So I run around to the cab driver and I'm like, no, she's not drunk, I promise, she's not drunk. She falls down everywhere. And so he speeds off and another cab comes and the cab hits me. And so I'm flying through the air and the next thing I know, everything's dark. So I wake up and I'm in a hospital bed and I'm like, wow, nothing hurts. And then the nurse comes in and she's like, ah! And I'm like, shit, my face! I thought something had happened to my face, but no. So I get out of bed and I fall down. And I'm like, wow, this is what Cleo feels like all the time. And the doctor walks in and apparently I've been in a coma for almost 4 months.
Wow!
And so I'm looking around for Cleo, and he's like, actually, she just left yesterday for Greece, but she's actually been at your bedside for 4 months. She's never left. And they're supposed to call her right away and tell her that I've come out of the coma, and I'm like, no. So the doctor runs a few tests on me to see if I had any brain damage. And he said, no, I still think I do, but anyway, that's something we gotta probably talk about another time. So I decide I'm gonna book a flight and go meet her in Greece. So I book a flight through Amsterdam. I'm on the plane and I meet this beautiful woman, Véronique. She's from Quebec City, she's a musician, and she's scared shitless of flying. So she holds my hand. Well, almost breaks my hand most of the way. So we have these long talks. She had cancer, but she's fine now, and I just came out of a coma, and we're kind of hitting it off, and we're having one drink after another, and the next thing leads to, oh, are you gay? I'm like, I'm pretty sure, but I just came out of a coma, so I could have changed. So we decide, ooh, Mile High Club, let's do it. So we have sex in the bathroom. No. It's okay, she didn't like it either. And so I finished, which was like, whoa, I can't believe that happened. And we go back to our seats and whatnot, and then we're at the airport, and I have to call and leave a message for Cleo to come pick me up at the airport. So, hello, best friend, I'm alive, pick me up at the airport in Greece. And Véronique goes and buys me a book. And it's Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, it's just the small stuff, to continue on my journey of self-betterment. So I'm sitting on my flight, and I open it up, and I'm just on the chapter about random acts of kindness. And on the speaker, they ask if somebody would give up their seat and grab the next flight in 45 minutes because there's a man and his child that want to travel. And they're going to miss their connection. And I'd seen more Quebecers that were at the door. And the little boy was crying and he was supposed to go see his mom sing and whatnot. So I'm like, you know what? I don't even know if Cleo's going to be there. I'll just give up my seat and I'll grab the next flight. So I land and everyone is really, all these people are crying, they're upset, and I see Cleo walk over to her and I tap her on the shoulder and she turns around and she's just freaks out and she slaps me across the face and I fall to the ground and I'm like, what? And she's like, you gave me the wrong fucking flight information. Your flight crashed, you fucker. Oh. You motherfucker have got to stop dying. So we spend a few days in Greece and then we go back and then I think I really hurt her because our friendship kind of dimmed after that. So we go to back to Vancouver. I lived here for a few years. I got a settlement from ICBC. And I decide, you know what, I'm going to move back to Quebec and I'm going to open a restaurant. So I moved back to Quebec City and I opened a restaurant. Meanwhile, the entire time I've never gone about this man and his little boy. And so I decided to call the restaurant Vol, which means a fly in French. And I opened, and the news was there. They were actually covering the opening of the restaurant. Nothing happens in Quebec City except the occasional riot and a restaurant opening. And so I guess almost immediately after it aired, Yvon-Justin Veronique, I hadn't seen her, spoken to her since we parted ways on the flight. And she runs up and she hugs me and she's crying and she's just, I thought you were dead, I thought you were dead, I saw you get on that flight. And then she introduced me to my daughter.